river, she opens her mouth to the sea.
Alrighty, primary election day. It is the 19th day of May. So get out and vote. But right now, we've got some great guests in the studio this morning, and we're going to introduce everybody, if we can. We've got quite a few folks in. Let's start with folks from the Greater Titusville Development Foundation. Larry Flutterman is joining us. Jim Becker from Titusville Redevelopment Authority. Also from Donovan Bauer this morning, you've got Troy Donovan and Joe Vandervoort. Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good morning. Good.
Thank you so much for joining us. So listen, last month, Donovan Bauer made an announcement that they wanted to try to help out everything that's been going on in town. Larry, I think, was it last month or at the end of March, we had you guys on to talk about what the foundation's doing.
Yes.
And of course, work has been continuing down there. And Jim, you might be able to give us a quick update on that. But Donovan Bauer wanted to step up and try to help. Troy, kind of explain what went on with you guys.
Well, we decided when the fire took place, what can we do to help? There was a lot of discussions about who to help and, and so forth. The great thing about the Greater Titusville Development Foundation, and it's going to help the displaced businesses, employees, it's kind of a great foundation to help everybody. So it was just kind of a perfect setup to who we were going to give the donation to, because that was the big thing, being a business. We didn't, want to look like we were pulling favors for, some other business because we believe they're all important to the community of Titusville. So with this foundation, I think it's a great thing to help with the displaced businesses and employees. So we decided in the month of April, for every vehicle retail sale that we had, either new or used, that we were going to donate $50 per sale. So basically, I'm happy to announce we picked a good month to do it because it was probably our busiest month selling cars in the last 10 years. We did 97 cars last month in April.
Wow.
New and used between two dealerships. So it was the best month that since we've owned the business, sales-wise, as far as units that we had. So it was great. If you did the math on that, it was going to be $4,850, but we got together and said we're just going to make it an even $5,000.
$5,000
for the Greater Development Foundation. So I'm going to give that to either Jim or Larry or whoever, and then that is for you guys. I'm glad we could help out, and I think in the Titusville community we do a good job sticking together as businesses and trying to help each other out. I've heard nothing but great stories from a lot of folks on there's not even money, just donating time, donating whatever they, whatever resources they have could use. So it's a really nice, good thing to see people come together.
Well, the other benefit apparently is Joe actually got up and worked. It actually got him excited to get up and work and sell cars. No, $5,000. That's incredible. That's incredible. Congratulations on that. Larry, what do you have to say?
I would say, Troy and Joe, on behalf of the Greater Titusville Development Foundation, we certainly appreciate your generosity, and it's going to go to a long ways to helping these businesses. I think we've identified 17 businesses that qualify for relief from the recovery fund, and that does not include the first responders either. So this will go a long ways toward that.
That's incredible. Larry, Jim, just talk about the community support over the past 6 to 8 weeks here. It's been incredible.
It has. We've talked to a lot of folks, and as a matter of fact, when the foundation had their temporary, or when Redevelopment Authority had their temporary offices in City Hall, I was walking into a meeting one day, and a businessman from off the street just handed me a check and said, "I think this goes to you," and it was a check for $500 for the recovery. Wow. So it's things like that happen on a regular basis.
Troy, for you guys, I know it wasn't a hard decision to say, "Hey, let's all get together and let's do something." You have employees that also serve as volunteer firefighters.
Oh yes, I mean even the general manager of our GM store, Donnie Bauer, he's a firefighter. Has been a firefighter since even before I was born. So I mean, and there's I have a couple technicians at the GM store that I know are volunteer firemen, a person in the parts department. So I mean, between both dealerships, I think it's almost safe to say that we probably have close to half a dozen, which it's and even one has some paramedic training, which is very actually very nice and helpful in your business, because there's been times we've had accidents out on the road, just in front of the dealership, and they've gone out to help, so it's kind of like, gosh, if anything like ever that happens in here, it makes me feel good that they're here, because they have that training and that ability, and they don't panic.
Isn't it amazing? They don't even stop and think about it. They just do it. They just react. I mean,
well, some of them, they just live for it. They love to help, and they're just good folks, and we appreciate the first responders and all that they do and sacrifice their time, because the vast majority of them are not paid. It's a volunteer thing, and it's a very hard thing in today's world to find people to help volunteer for things, and it's very good that they do that and are able to do that.
Jim, I know for you, we've talked about this before, where, again, people not thinking, they just start acting upon the situation, and within minutes of the devastating fire in town, people were acting.
Literally, we were standing on Franklin Street the night of the fire, and it was the afternoon of the fire, and literally had people and businesses approaching us just as we're standing there, watching what was going on. The restaurants that were just bundled up food and sandwiches and things like that and took them out to the firefighters. Just it was special. It really was. And then you end up having a business like Donovan Bauer that's been around in our community for so long that steps up with something like this. It's special. It's a special town and a special group of people, and it doesn't matter if it's a youth sports team or something that's a little bit bigger like this. Donovan Bauer is always there to step in and help.
Larry, you've been involved in a lot of organizations over the years, and it's amazing how, people may only have $5, but they'll give $5, and that really goes a long way. Here's a check for $5,000. Any amount is helpful, and I think more importantly, it shows that people care. And again, Jim and I have talked in the past where you might not realize how important a building is until something like this happens, or what it means to a community.
Right. And I think the biggest part, too, is, again, we've got those 17 businesses that were affected by this. I didn't realize that until we actually sat down and I saw the list of names. Everybody knows about the Blue Canoe, obviously, but, to realize that there's 16 other ones that were affected in some manner by this disaster. And again, the generosity of Donovan Bauer, that's just great. That's what this community does,
So talk about the foundation and what happens from here. Are you still accepting donations?
We are. Good point. You can go online, TitusvilleFoundation.org, and actually businesses can do an online application there. We are accepting donations. I believe it's P.O. Box 425. If I remember from like a month ago. So we are accepting donations. We're going to continue to do that probably through at least to the end of the summer. I think we had said 6 months into this, we're going to continue to do it for the recovery. And then after that, we really want to get into the crux of the foundation work itself, and that's for the greater development of Titusville, basically.
Jim, any updates?
The big crane left yesterday, so we're now down to one. The majority of the demolition work has been completed. One crane remains on Franklin Street right now. They're starting to work on the parapet, the Franklin Street side parapet, the brickwork on the top of the building. They've stabilized the town square lobby building. There's still some decisions to be made. There's some pieces structurally that not necessarily have to do with the fire, but a 150-year-old building, you take the top off of it, and some of the stuff you find out isn't all that good. So we're dealing with some of those issues, but there is it's been a long, tedious process intentionally, because when we move forward with this, and that announcement I hope is coming very, very soon, that everyone will be in a good place about the building, about the structure, where we're heading, where we're going. So hopefully I'll be over here talking to you soon about the future projects.
Excellent. Troy, I'll give you guys a chance to say anything else here about what you guys have done, and of course your commitment to the community.
Yeah, I just, the big thing is I want to thank all of our customers that came out last month and purchased vehicles, not just last month but prior months, because they're all important, but the ones that helped, make this possible. I also want to, thank our 30-some employees that we have at the dealerships, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to, pull a lot of this off day in and day out. So there are a bunch of hardworking folks out there, have families, and, most of them are from the local intermediate area around our community, and some drive even as far as an hour and a half away to come work with us every day. So
that's under the work release program, I think, with Mike Young.
Yeah. Don't let anyone know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're a good bunch out there. They're a hard-working group, and we do appreciate everything they do. And I'm sure Joe would like to add some, more things to that. Wouldn't you, Joe?
I think you hit about everything I was going to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good group. It's a great town. I just want to say thanks to everybody, and if there's anything we can do down the road to help, please let us know.
Well, thanks for your commitment to the community, Larry.
And I was going to say, I really like their creative commercials that they do too. That's very entertaining. So,
anything else you want to add outside of that, Larry? With
no,
the
we just
foundation?
appreciate their support, and it's all about Donovan and Bauer today. So that's great.
All about the community.
Jim? All about the community. We'll leave it at that. All about the community. All righty, guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations on, again, just doing what you guys have done, and your commitment with the foundation, Larry, and Jim, with everything you're trying to do to get these businesses up and running. And everybody has a home right now.
Correct.
And they're waiting to hear what's going to happen. They're all excited about moving back. And that's the other thing, Jim. They're excited about getting back.
Yeah, that was the night of the fire that people were placing people, and they were saying, well, how long should I sign a lease for with those other places? When are we going to be back up?
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. And again, if you would like to help out with the foundation, just go to TitusvilleFoundation.org, TitusvilleFoundation.org. Call 814-564-0406, 814-564-0406 for the Greater Titusville Development Foundation. 8:23. Quick time out. We'll be back with more. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network.
Thanks, Jim.